I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're talking to Rob Marshall. He is the talented author behind a captivating novel called Paradise Broken. Rob has an extensive background in outdoor adventures, including tramping, hunting, and fishing, and has drawn inspiration from the breathtaking New Zealand landscape to create his first novel. We are delighted to have Rob on the spotlight today. Thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping put him in the spotlight today, and ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel. Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, kia ora, Logan, and good morning.
Good morning. Good evening to me and good morning to you. Yes, we're on opposite sides of the globe, but thank goodness the technology is working. For the folks at home, tell them a little bit what Paradise Broken is all about.
Well, how I came to write Paradise Broken was, I've been in I suppose it's nearly 40 years I've been going into the bush, whenever I've had a chance. And, I went in very early in life with my father. He used to take us when we were only 5 and right up to when I wrote the book. And a lot's happened in the bush in that last 40 years, In New Zealand, we've had a lot of plane crashes. People get murdered in the bush. People get lost, and some of them aren't found. And, people crossing rivers and getting swept away and that. So those are all the ideas that over the years I sort of got to get ideas to write Paradise Broken. And one day I was just sitting up in the head of this big river and on a rock looking down this beautiful river valley, and I thought, man, I could write a novel about in here, something like that. So I went home after that, and I, just after work, I'd start writing a bit about the book, but it wasn't really coming together for quite a long time. And luckily I had a secret weapon, which was my Marie, and she's an English teacher. And so I finally got it sort of going, and that's how it progressed. And it took quite a while to get a flow on it, and you're trying to flesh out all the characters and all this, but we finally got it together and got Paradise Broken done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you did, because it's a great read, and it kind of brings out certain qualities that are so important in life, such as strength, resilience, love, and having practical abilities as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, it's just all those things that, and the people I've met in the bush, they inspire you, and what they do, and there's some great people you meet. And I think that's sort of how it come together. And I've had a pretty good family life where love and all that's been really quite important, and so I guess all of that brought that together.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And there's a recurring theme of wildflowers in the book, and it's a reminder of your early family life. Tell the folks at home about that a little bit.
Yes, my father, he used to always bring a wildflower home for my mum when he was out on the farm. Not all the time, but whenever they were out, and he'd pick a few and he'd put them under his shirt or behind his back and sneak up. But Mum always knew when he was bringing her flowers. And when he brought them in, my mother was really good at doing the Highland fling, and she would do this little 30, 50-second little dance, Highland fling dance around, and then she'd fall into his arms and we'd all laugh. It was pretty cool, and so that sort of stayed with me, because when you see your mother happy, everybody's happy.
Exactly. I love how you borrowed different pieces of your life to tell the story, and they've got meaning to you, and they've got meaning for the audience as well. So that definitely was a great idea of yours. What was it like writing the first book? Was it hard? Did it just flow? Was it easy? Tell me what it was like. What was the process like?
It was really quite difficult, because once I decided to write it, I sort of got home, and from my hunting trip where I was sitting up in the head of this river valley on this rock looking down, and I got home and I started writing, and it wasn't coming together at all. And I had pages everywhere, but like I say, with my Marie, she's pretty good at English, and she helped me get it together. And 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 it got a real roll on, and that's how we got it done. Yes.
Gotcha. About how long did it take you to write it?
Oh, I suppose 10 years, 8 years, because we only did it after work.
Right.
I'd sort of write a whole lot, and then Maria'd overlook it and sort it out. But over about 10 years, and we finally got it done. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And have you thought about bringing this to film or to be a TV series at all?
Oh, it would be awesome if that did happen, Logan. But I would be really good. But how I would do that, I would have a clue. But
you never know.
really...
When you have a book out there, you never know whose hands it's going to wind up in and who will be inspired by it, right?
Yeah, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you thought a little bit about who you would cast as the actors in it?
I have thought a bit about it, but you see some people, you think, oh, they'd be really good at doing that spot, and that. But no, I haven't. I haven't sort of got a preference for anybody.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, it's great. It's fun to think about. It's fun to cast the movie in your head. You've got a lot of actors nearby. It seems like Australia is just busting with actors. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's some really good ones, eh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Who was the first person who read your book? Was it?
I think I gave it to my mother because I made sure there was not too many swear words so my mother could read it.
Gotcha. And what was your mom's reaction when she read it?
She was really quite surprised. I don't think she thought I could write a book.
That's great.
She was quite surprised. Yeah.
Yep. Tell the folks a little bit about the bush and what it's like. I mean, for us over here in the States, we don't really have much to compare it with. I mean, I guess for us, it's kind of like the woods or kind of like the forest, but the bush is a different beast. And you've got some incredible creatures that live in the bush.
Absolutely. And our bush is quite thick and, quite dense. And we have some magnificent big trees. They tower above the normal canopy of podocarp trees, and the Rimu, Totra, Henau, all those kind of trees, and they're like a whole canopy above the rest of the podocarp forest. So they're really, really amazing. And and the scenery up in these rivers. You look up the river and the landscapes just run away, and you just wonder how they hang on up in those, they're so steep. And then you go like 2K up the river and it just turns into this most beautiful little valley with these giant trees. It's really quite inspiring, So, but as far as, in New Zealand, we have wild boar and a few species of deer, and we have quite a few pretty ugly looking insects. We have our big weta, and we have some very big spiders.
I know.
And one day I've been hunting high in this morning, and I come down off this ridge system to go and have a drink at this creek, and I walk up to the creek, and I'm carrying a set of deer legs on my back, and I get to the creek and I put the deer legs down, and and I'm just walking off to go and get a drink because there's only a wee creek, and I hear this buzzing, and it's like in New Zealand bush, when you hear buzzing, you take notice, and it was a big nest of wasps were around somewhere, but I see them going into this little tree, and I'm wondering what they're doing, and I try and look into the tree to see because they were sort of going in there and they're sort of taking turns of going into this tree, and I walk up and I look in, but I don't want to get too close to them because they can get pretty angry. So I go around the other side of the tree and look in, and they were actually in there. We've got these big, long stick insects. They're about 4 or 5 inches long, and these wasps were in there eating that stick insect in half. It was just unbelievable. And then, I really felt sorry for the guy. Like, I would have rescued him, but it was a bit too late but anyway, I turn around and I walk back to get my deer legs, and the wasps are just all over the deer legs because they love eating meat. The wasps do, So I had to try and rescue my deer legs, but like a lot of insects, they love meat, and it took quite a bit to get it off them.
Oh my goodness. I can see why you found a lot of inspiration in the bush because
Yeah, those are the things that give you ideas, about.
yeah,
Yeah,
good God. And a lot of fears too. I'd be constantly swatting
yeah,
imaginary wasps off myself if I was there,
yeah.
that's for
You don't
sure.
want them getting in your hair because they're just terrible to get out of your hair
Good
if they
God,
attack
yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
especially with us newscaster types, we have always have hairspray, so the wasp would go on it like a magnet.
Yeah.
Rob, are you thinking about writing anything else, or have you started any other work?
Yeah, I am going to write another book. It's been 3 years since Paradise Broken got written, so I thought I'd have a go at doing another one and sort of how when they came out of the river, how their lives evolved and all that kind of thing.
Great.
So, and I have written a song about that relates to the book. It's on YouTube. If you go to Paradise Broken Rob Marshall, it'll come up. So
Okay.
I wrote it. I wrote it for to do with the book.
That sounds great. That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to get on to Google and find that video. I'm sure it's fun to watch. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it. Well, the name of the book is Paradise Broken. It is written by a terrific author. It's his first book, and I often find the first book is the best because you've got a lifetime of experiences that you've been storing up for that first novel. And this
yeah,
is quite a great read. Rob, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
yeah. Thank you, Logan. Thank you very much.
Pleasure is all mine, my friend. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.